So I'm going to look for the canvas panel probably. Yeah, sure. I drag it into one side, open it in the other. Sounds like a great plan. So that's where the comment's coming from for this thing. Why is there even anything in here? Like, what does any of this do? Doesn't look like it does much at all. And what's the size box doing? It's just... Alright. So I'll see if I can just make a new panel thing here and what the hell that even does and allows us to do. So this thing, this canvas panel crap, the only place it's actually building any S content is inside of and I expect this to get angry at this Dashkin canvas panel slot thing. Get slot class. There's more to this. Anyway, I'll be back in just a little bit. Yeah, this slate system is just a real piece of shit, isn't it? Like, there's no excuse for this. Like, they've got all these different boxes and components and crap that you can throw on here, and just it's all hooked together using tons of different stuff. And it looks like all this crap that it has in here for defining these are just making the S widgets at the end of the day anyway. Build design time widget. Yeah, like all this, I could go through all this, but it's still going to be something that gets built into some S widget that I can't even fucking grab it anyway. So I'm thinking probably the best way is just to go back to square one. See if we can just get a widget thing that... Because really all we need is the ability to create widgets that scale properly and position themselves properly on the screen. We can build a whole bunch of one-off widgets which do their own shit, and that's probably not a problem. So why don't we just focus on doing that instead of anything else? There's just a lot of real basic functionality here that is missing. I mean, it literally is at some point here where it's just like, well, this is just shit. Like, Slate's just crap. Like, if you can't easily Google documentation on it, if it doesn't work, at some point you just say, well, fuck them, we're not using it. Because I'm not happy with this at all. Like, I mean, at some point you're just like, well, fuck it. We're just gonna spend $5,000 and get the Coherent SDK, and just use WebKit using Coherent, and that'll just be the end of it. So who gives a shit? So how in the hell do their scaling rules even work? It's basically, it breaks down as soon as the aspect ratio gets like more than 1. Come on. What, scales negatively? Wow. Wow, unreal. What the fuck is this? Scale box cannot accept additional children. So now I can't click on anything because I got something in front of it. This is the dumbest shit I've ever had to deal with. Yeah, well, I think this is pretty much. I think that's pretty much it. Like, I think that settles it. Like, Slate's a giant pile of shit, and we're not going to use it. Like, I don't see any other solution. Like, it sucks. It's undocumented. It doesn't do what you want it to do, and it seems like there's a whole lot of, well, this is just an exercise left to the implementer to, it's like when somebody's teaching you in school and they're like, well, and then, you just do the rest of the thing. The only other thing would be to just, build everything inside of C++ and all that, and that would be it. Like, we wouldn't be able to do too much with that otherwise. Like, if we can't get fucking references to shit inside of the HUD nicely without doing a whole bunch of shenaniganry, and even that's giving us the S interfaces, we'd have to put in millions of fucking shims. And even then, good luck customizing it. Well, I mean, it obviously works. It's a thing, but it's a real pile of crap. So I mean, the only other thing we could do is make this size box into something we can actually mess with in UMG, and then inside of that we should be able to place things, supposedly. What are the various panels? Alright, so we should be looking up the size box. Hello, Firewing Mama. I'm just dealing with some very frustrating UI stuff right now. I mean, it looks like you copy pasted everything out of size, or just out of S box for your size box. So I mean, is there any reason why we can't just edit the core code to have your stuff in there and then just use the blueprint stuff only and just have like real basic shit going on? So all we do is edit S box and This is so dumb. Is the only thing you changed being the unarranged children? Like you have an offset sort of thing going on. Yeah, it's pretty clear the only real way to deal with this is to just use that UMG editor thing for creating the slate wedges, because everything else just looks like a giant pile of crap and isn't hooked up very well and not well supported. Because it looks like you can make a widget just fine with stuff, but other than that, if you're gonna make it and do it in C++, you're not gonna be able to edit like anything from blueprints. Which I guess kind of makes sense. You're not supposed to build the UI in C++ land. You're supposed to build it in blueprint land. That's the whole point. At some point, though, I don't really understand why they didn't just give you a simpler canvas system and just say, like, well, you know, we didn't really do a very good job on this. So what we're going to do 30-minute recompile. Yeah. It's looking like we pretty much have that on our hands at the moment. I mean, at some point you would have expected basically like that they would throw you a bone and just be like, you know what? The system sucks, so what we're going to do is have like some well-defined, simple widgets that you can do anything you want with. You know, like if you can't make a good overarching system that contains everything, at least make a simple system where you have access to everything. So be like, all right, cool. So we weren't able to make like a super awesome system, but we gave you Legos, and those Legos are well defined and easy to put forward. So we're not going to try to be smart with anything. You know, you can deal with the fucking scaling yourself. You know, that's it. End of story. You know, you want a sprite? There you go. You can just drag a sprite onto this thing. It'll render an orthographic camera or something. You want to make a scroll bar? Awesome. Make your own scroll bar. You know. Yeah, this thing's going to be compiling for quite a while. Because I figure basically what we can do here is we can just have like a big if else, and it's like if min aspect ratio is set, then we just do a completely different function, which is probably your unarranged children. And that's just it. Just do it that way. I don't get it though. Like, why is it such a pile of shit? Yeah, it's like the consensus is you're not going to be able to do any fluid layout. Using anchors and fixed size components, you should at least be able to make things look decent. Alright, Sonicron, have a good night. While we recompile all the bullshit. Because everything includes sleep. So the other thing to think about is the performance of the WebKit stuff. Like, the issue that we have right now is we can't do like full screen effects and some of these other things. Like, we weren't really having too much performance problems with the clock or anything else. We're having massive performance problems when we did like a full screen fade. Hello, Lucas. Yeah, Adam is on. He's eating dinner at the moment or whatever, right? Isn't he going to be back in another 5 minutes? So yeah, I think he'll be on soon. I thought you were already sick. Did you get sick again? Because that would suck. Nothing's worse than getting sick after you just got sick. Though that really doesn't happen very often, since I don't even remember the last time I was actually sick. Yeah, and as for the next update being available on time, I'm pretty sure we're well on track for that. The dedicated server stuff is done. Full of zinc, yeah. Steal an experimental CRISPR. Cure your cancer and cure your cold at the same time. What you really need to do is you need to go find an orphanage that has really bad documentation, and then massacre all the children, and then, bathe in their blood, and that'll, it works for vampires. Why not dragons? Good luck with your UMG adventures. We don't need luck. We just need clear rules. The virus can relocate and build up again? What did it, feels bad, man, poor orphans? Hello, Matt Development. Yeah, but they're orphans, right? Like, their life already sucks. So you're doing them a favor, right? That's like that TFS episode where Goku and Frieza are talking. It's like, yeah, they're always going on about the children. It's like, so I just murder them, and then because if I leave them alive, they just come back and attack me anyway. So I might as well just get it out of the way. He's like, you're a monster. It's like, but then they'd have to, if I left them alive, they'd just grow up under my rule, which is terrible. So who's really the villain? It's just like, you. You're the villain. The Swedish journalist who was murdered in a submarine by a rocket and submarine enthusiast who built said sub? I don't know. Somebody built a rocket in a submarine, listen, he took somebody down and murdered them. Good job. Good job, humanity. We've done it. We've done something. I'm not sure what it is, though. Yeah, so it's going to be a 2 bajillion hour compile here is what this crap is looking like. Search up Peter Madsen murder. I'd rather not. So let me just take a look at this unarranged children thing that he's got rolling around here while we're waiting for this to compile. So, this is what he has. He's got this optional min-cur aspect ratio thing. Slot padding, arrange results. Looks like a lot of it did get changed. So, we'll see if the current aspect ratio is set. Yeah, okay, so it looks like it's kind of, yeah, it is heavily modified, and I'd have to really step through and understand all the code to really mess with it. So probably what we want to do is we'll just throw like an if else here, and like if current min aspect ratio is set, then we'll just switch on that. Because I think this will take care of most of it. Is it looks like, you know, max width and height or whatever is set here, so. So whatever, yeah. So we just have to finish waiting for this to compile. So I'll talk about other things. Or is Adam back by now? Looks like Adam's back. Working on shit. Alright, well I'm just getting Adam set up so it can be difficult scheduling stuff when we're needing to coordinate when he's streaming and everything else. I just want to make sure we got everything on track for the next update, because I think he might have different impressions on the extent of the forest level, and I just want to make sure he's focused on the one level. So that'll be a thing. Alright, so I'll get back to my own thing here. Looks like we're almost finished compiling. I'm just going to make sure that things still work. And then we'll... start taking our bloody blade into Slate's inner core and just fix the aspect ratio. Because if the aspect ratio thing is fixed, I think we're good. Or whatever. But it seems real clear. Like, it's just a messy system. I don't like it. And I guess nobody else likes it either, so, burn it down. And of course, I don't know, probably what I need to do is, like, if we had whoever or whatever team that made Slate actually got them in a room and just grilled them, like, how the hell am I supposed to do this crap? And, had them walk us through it, maybe we'd be successful at it. But that's kind of a mark of a failed thing. Like, if you gotta call the experts in just to do some basic shit like, how do I lock this to a fucking window? Then that's real dumb. It's real stupid. Alright, so what I need is not the scale box crap here. We have the canvas panel, and then we've got an S box. It's just a... Is it just a size box? Yeah, okay, so we've got min aspect ratio and max aspect ratio set here. I mean, I don't really understand what the anchors are for. Widget can't accept additional children. Okay, so it's just offset left and type and everything else is just like that. So dynamic text, can we drag you around?